What's good, everybody, and welcome back to Universal Teas. It's the People's Podcast with your girl Toya, and this episode is called It's You. So, before I get into what It's You mean, child, I am recording this out of pure dedication, not desire today, because I'm not necessarily tired, but today was just a very mentally heavy day. Like, I'm not sad, I'm not, you know what I mean, necessarily feeling any bad emotions, but do y'all just have days where it's just like, I don't want to talk too much, I don't want to hear too much, I just want to give my thoughts all the space and time they need. I just want to give my feelings all the space and time they need. And that's just kind of where I've been today. And so I feel like when I'm in those times, move my comfort pillow out the way. When I'm in those times where I feel that way, I just kind of accept it and let it be. And today was definitely one of those days where it's just like, I don't feel like talking too much. I don't feel like moving too much. I just kind of want to let what is be. And I've just really been kind of reflecting today on like what it is that I'm doing, why I'm doing those things, where is it that the habits that I have today are going to lead me? Do they align with who I want to be, where I want to be, and what I want to be doing? And yeah, I think that's a great point of reflection. And I then reflected on this episode because, of course, the spirit of giving up and the spirit of inconsistency was trying to tell me not to record at all today. But I really did not feel like going live on Facebook like I usually do. So I still am recording both audio and visual, but it's just not that live piece on Facebook because I just don't feel like being entertaining right now. I just want to be real and raw and give y'all what I'm feeling. And not to say that I can't do that on Facebook Live, but there's also that weird anticipation of like how many people are on and who's going to be in the chat and what are they going to say and things like that. And so I thought about that and I realized that you still have to honor what it is that you said you're going to do. You know, because if I can't do it for myself, if I can't do it without an audience, there's no way that I can expect myself to be consistent for an audience. And so that's what this is, still being disciplined and obedient to the gift, the calling, and just doing what I said I was going to do. And so when I think about it, I had to tell myself, like, girl, still record the episodes, still do the visual because you can drop that later, still give the people the audio. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm honoring that consistency and the gift and the calling. Okay. So getting into this episode, child, it's you. So I did a like real Instagram video. I put it on Facebook too about this earlier. And what I said in that video is it's you. It is you that has to do that thing, that has to say that thing, that has to make that thing happen, that has to change the trajectory, that has to create the legacy, that has to build the brand, the business. It is you. And I think where that came from, because it felt very random, it really came up in my spirit as I'm driving. And y'all, that's another thing. A lot of times when I be driving is when I get a lot of my ideas for episodes, things that I want to talk about, things that I want to do. And so that came up for me. And I think if I recall correctly, when it came up, it was a moment where I was feeling frustrated. I was feeling stuck. I was feeling like things are not happening. Opportunities are not presenting themselves. I felt kind of like I said today, like, what are you doing? What are you doing it for? What's your why? Why is this important? Kind of also diminishing what I see in my visions and like that can't be something you do. And I realized too that sometimes we're always looking for the go ahead. We're always looking for a mentor. We're always looking for someone to hold our hand and show us the way when we're trying to accomplish something. But then God kind of told me like, no, it's you. You are now the person who has to lead the way. You're the person with the answers now. You have a platform where people listen. It's you. It's you that has to say what is being done. And I think a part of accepting that it's me, or you accepting that it's you to do or say or establish this certain thing, is understanding that you are moving from one phase to another. For so long, I have been the star student. I have been the amazing mentor. I have been the protege. I have been the one who's gotten all of these accomplishments and accolades and gotten all these compliments for being a good student. But now I have to use what I've learned to become the master. And I seen this interview with Lauryn Hill at a college. She was like 25, and I refer to this all the time because I've watched it so many times. But she explains the fact that life is all about mastering many things, right? It's this series of, what does she say? Learning and mastership, learning, mastership. You get to the top of one thing and it's going to go down where you're in this place where you now have to learn something else to get back to the top of it. And so I realized that I have gotten to mastership of learning, mastership of being a mentor, of developing who I need to be. And now it's time to show it. But I've allowed myself to live in this box and bubble. I've allowed myself to only be okay with getting the A versus creating the syllabus. And so it's scary for me to move into this new territory because it is just that, it's new. And so I also am running into this certain level of agony and frustration. And I think it reminds me of, I know rather that it reminds me of this quote from, I believe, Michelle Obama, or is it Maya Angelou? How do I get those two mixed up? But the quote says there, I think it's Maya Angelou, where she says there's no greater agony than bearing the burden of an untold story inside of you. And I think in this phase of my life, I truly am feeling that agony. But I feel it for a lot of things, and I have so many things that I want to do that I don't know where to start. And when I start, like, it's almost like I'm trying to catch up with myself creatively. And that I start one thing and I get this amazing fire idea for another thing, and now I stop this thing and I have to do the other thing. And so right now I'm in a place where I'm trying to figure out a system to get through it all. And also just accepting that it is me that has to do it. And I think another reason that that's difficult for me is I'm the baby of my family. I've always been kind of told what to do or shown what to do or led into what to do. And now I have this conviction where I'm seeing things that I've never seen happen before. Visions of ideas, businesses that I've never seen before. And I see them in a way that even when I explain it to people, they don't get it. And I get frustrated because it's like I'm trying to tell people what it is, and then they're veering left when they try to connect with me on it. And the reason that that's frustrated is because God is saying that it's you that has to do it, that has to be the first, that has to start it. And I know some of us probably feel that. You get so frustrated when you try to share an idea, or you try to collaborate, or find a community, or find a village, or just get someone to get you. But what I'm realizing is that it's not so much about getting people to get how you think, but giving them what it is that you see. You're the only person. That's why it's you, because you're the only person that can see that vision that way. You're the only person that can take that thing to a specific height. And yes, you're frustrated because there's nothing to compare it to, because it's yours. The gift is yours. The calling is yours. And so I really hope I'm articulating this well, because you have to, and I don't even know if it's about fear, but you have to understand that you're never going to feel fulfilled until you start doing it. And you have to give yourself the grace to learn as you go. You have to give yourself the grace to fall, not fail, because you only fail when you give up, but you have to give yourself the grace to fall. You also have to give yourself the grace to collaborate and to be okay with not being the expert at certain things. Child, I am sitting here as someone who always is like, my gift is my voice. I want a podcast. I don't care to be a master at video editing. I don't care to be a master at audio production, lighting. But until I start to step into what my gift is with what I've been given, I'm never going to get the opportunity to run into those people that I'm going to be able to collaborate with. So until then, I'm going to set up this light on my own. I'm going to set up these cameras on my own. I'm going to record this audio on my own. It may not be perfect, but the consistency of doing it and getting in those spaces with people who are doing it is where I may go ahead and meet those people that are going to help me to become, or help the vision to grow into what I want it to be. And so that is what you have to trust yourself to do. And I'm also realizing that it's hard to accept that it's you because you probably don't trust yourself. And that's an episode I did a few weeks ago, is do you trust yourself? That's something that transparently I am learning how to do. That's something transparently that is a struggle for me to honestly say out loud, is that in a lot of things, in a lot of realms, I don't trust myself. And because of that, I can't trust others. So create the environment and the systems that you need to be who you are, and run with it. Understanding that it's you is also as difficult, because realizing that it's you also means accepting that the people that you spend the most time with, the people who are around you, might not get it. They might not be able to help you with it. So that's when you have to be okay with stepping into another realm and not being an expert, but going to find the expert. Recognizing and accepting that it is you and not those around you is being okay with having to figure things out alone. Being okay with being the only one that's passionate. And realizing that that has nothing to do with the nature of the relationship of those around you. Because this is your passion, you might stay up till 2 a.m. editing a video while everyone else around you is like, you need to go to sleep. It ain't that serious. But only you have seen that vision, and you know what it takes to fulfill it. Stop psyching yourself out. Stop telling yourself it could wait till tomorrow when you know good and well you got the time today. And another thing that I've learned that I try to do to myself is try to over-exaggerate rest. You can be resting. True. But your rest has come the only thing that you're consistent in. And that is exactly what's happening to your dreams, to that vision, to that goal that is resting. It is lying dormant inside of you, but it's still running rampant within your mind. Okay? And I think that is what I push myself to understand, is if it is still running through your mind constantly, then that means you need to get it out. You need to make some time for it. Should you exhaust yourself with it? Maybe not. But you need to make some time for it. And live up to that time that you create. Don't complain about what's not being done. Don't complain about the way things are being done. Don't criticize someone who's in the same line of creativity as you, when you know you're not living up to it, because that mirror is reflecting on you. Your own shortcomings, your own insecurities. When all you have to do is recognize, stand up and say, yeah, it's me. I got to do it. I see this and it ain't right. What you going to do to make it better? What are you going to do to make the podcasting community better? What are you going to do to make the music community better? We're in a day and age where all we do is criticize and throw our opinions under some comments. If you're not willing to make a change for it, don't sit up here talking about it. Don't criticize those that are doing it, because that's hater energy and that's very stagnant. That's not going to get you nowhere. Lock in with yourself. And when I say lock in with yourself, because we hear that a lot, like, ooh, lock in, get focused on your goals. But you really have to remove yourself from everything except what it is you're working for. Remove yourself from the opinions of others. Remove yourself from the environments that don't serve what you're doing. Sometimes you really got to get quiet. That's why today for me was so important, and honoring that I don't feel like being on a live video today. Because this message, yes, I'm going to give it to the world, but it's more so for me. It's more so for me. And so understanding that, yes, I have to be the one to figure this out. I get the honor of having this vision. I get the honor of being this creative vessel to bring this thing into light. I have the honor of making this impact, but you're not going to make the impact unless you make the impact. You're not going to fulfill the goal unless you fulfill the goal. You're not going to see your dream come to pass unless you see your dream come to pass. What are you going to do? It first starts with taking yourself out of imposter syndrome. Yes, it's you. Yes, it's you with that past. Yes, it's you with that history. Yes, it's you with that failed relationship, with that failed friendship. Yes, it's you that was once really depressed. Yes, it's you that doesn't love yourself right now, but you will eventually. Yes, it's you with that messed up mother-daughter relationship. Yes, it's you with that negative bank account. Yes, it's you with 3 baby daddies. Yes, it's you as a single parent. Yes, it's you. And once you can say, yes, it's me with all of this. Yes, it's me, and that be it. You have to move forward in that. I am going to. I have to. I will be. I am. What is it that's happening? Make your life an action verb. Okay? And when I think about accepting that it's you, you have to live in that. Once you've accepted that it's you that's going to do that brilliant thing, that's going to, even for things such as have that conversation. Yes, it's you that's going to change the mindset with the money in your family. Yes, it's you that's going to be the first one to go live in another country. You got to move like that. Because everybody got a mouthpiece. We can talk. You got to move like that. Accepting that it is you that has to do it. You also have to accept that I might stumble, but it's still me. I might mess up, but it's still me. I might say the wrong thing at some point, but it's still me that got to do it. I might lose this much money, but it's still me. That first way didn't work, but it is still me that has to do it. That's what you need to root yourself in. It's what I say, it's still me, period. No matter what. Yes, I lost a parent, but it's still me. Yes, the business partner that was my best friend that I started this with is not really the business partner I thought they needed to be, but it's still me. The vision is still me. Yes, this hurt my feelings, but it is still me. What is your "it's still me" statement? What is it, the thing that you need to do? What's the thing that's keeping you up at night? What's the thing that you find yourself daydreaming about when people are holding conversations with you? What is it that you find yourself criticizing all the time? That's you. That's you. And we try to downplay, and I think I talked about this in the last episode. We try to downplay our interests to something very minuscule. We try to downplay our talents to just a thing. We try to downplay the things that we constantly think about, that we notice, that nobody else notices. That's you. That's your lane. And we have to understand that just what's being fed to us, we're on cell phones all day, social media all day. We are being force fed what we should look like, what we should dress like, what we should be interested in. Even with me, a moment of transparency, like I'm being force fed what I think the quality of a podcast should look like. I'm being force fed what I think communication should look like. I'm being force fed the idea of how I should handle relationships and friendships and the way that I dress and style and where should I go to vacation and how should I spend my free time. We're being force fed all of that. It's you that has to say, I'm going to step outside of all of this and just be by myself. It's you that's going to say, I'm actually not going to be on social media. I'm going to just do what I need to do. It's you. And it's you, even though it's never been done before. It's you. There are so many things that, as I reflect over my life, that, I don't think I've seen that in my family before. Not in that way. That experience is very unique to me. There have been things that I felt like my own family didn't understand about me or the way that I conceptualize things. And I was never closed out or shunned in any way in my family. I just realized that some things I just conceptualize differently. And that's okay because it's me. This platform, me. The visions that I see for it, that's me. Nobody gave me my dreams. I saw them for myself. God showed me that. And I have to trust that, oh, wow, this just came to me. I said that God gave me that vision for my dreams. And so I sometimes, and I don't know if this is anybody else's story, feel like, okay, God, you gave me this vision. Now, how do I see it through? And I get frustrated because I'm not seeing anything. But that's when you have to trust that, okay, God, you gave me this vision. I don't really know how it's going to happen, but I'm going to start. And then something else will be revealed. That's what's important to know. You take a step, something else will be revealed. You stumble. Dang. That hurt. But what was revealed to you? And then be able to look up the staircase at your vision and say, but that's me. So this had to be something that's still going to get me there. Stop allowing every downfall to be a failure. Like I said before, failure only happens when you completely give up. And when I think about vision, it's single. And I had an episode, it was a live event that I think I uploaded that audio called Singular Vision. You have to be okay with being the only one that sees it that way. Being the only one who can conceptualize it. And I think that's the beauty in art. When you have someone who, that's what a visionary is. Because when I look at clips of people who, and I'm thinking about musicians, Rihanna comes to my mind, Beyonce comes to my mind. They seen a vision for Savage Fenty and for, let's say, the Renaissance Tour or Coachella. You know what I mean? And so you tell people what your vision is and they're going to give their opinions. Well, I think you should use this fabric for that design. I think you should use that lighting. And you got to be okay with shutting them down. Nah, that's not it. That's what works for you. And right now you're invested in my vision. So that's not going to work for me. You have to be okay with that. Wow, you have to be okay with shutting down other people's opinions if they don't align with your vision. Respectfully, sure. But that's not my vision. People are always going to try to give you a one-off. Well, we could just, no, we're going to do it this way. Because that's my vision. And I'm not budging on my vision. If it takes a little longer, we'll wait a second. But you're not going to tell me that my vision, the exact way I see it, is not possible because I see it. If you see something in your mind, that exact thing can come into the physical realm. You just have to commit to it. You have to have the right people around you who support you. When you are creating vision, when you are bringing vision to life, I ain't got time to question nobody around me. Either you with me or you not. If I'm confused about you, You got to go because my vision is precious. My gift is sacred. And getting there cannot be sabotaged by secret animosity and people who are not really for me, or people who are only for me to get their clout or their shine. Because if you're really with me, you got to trust that I'm going to give you yours regardless. But I first have to trust myself to commit to what I see. Right? So when I think about this episode and just how I've been feeling today and really the last couple of days, I've been reflecting so much on me and my vision and what I'm doing and why I feel like the enemy has been trying to water my vision down. I don't know who or what the enemy is in particular, but I've been feeling this spirit that's telling me like, no, that I shouldn't be, that it's okay. Where you are now is comfortable. The spirit of the comfort demon. But understanding that my vision is my vision and I can't lose it. My calling is my calling. My gift is my gift. And I have to trust that. And I have to understand that, yes, it's me. I spend a lot of time being down on myself and feeling a lot of regret and shame for ways in which that I made decisions in the past, and allowing that to convince me that this thing is not for me, that it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me if this happened. It can't be me because this is how I used to do things. Stand up in your present, friend. Stand up in your present self, friend, regardless of who you've been before. And don't tolerate anything and anybody telling you that you still have to be a version of you that you no longer ascribe to. I don't care who it is, what the situation was. Who are you today? Is the person that you are today the person that's going to lead you to the future that you see? Because it's you. Yes, it's you. With all of that baggage, commit to unpacking it. With all of those wrong decisions you made, have the conversations. With all of those things that you know about yourself that nobody does, that may be unpleasant, embarrassing, shameful, it's still you. You're still worthy of having that gift. You're still worthy of creating that impact. You're still worthy of becoming that person that you see in your mind. You have to believe it. You got to stand up in it. And you got to demand the respect of the person that you are right now. Okay? And so with that being said, I want you all to operate in your present and work towards your future. If you are listening on audio, I encourage you right now to close your eyes. You heard me right. Close your eyes. Think about that thing that you think about every day. That version of you that you see yourself as every day. The life you want to live. The life you want to live, the places you want to be able to go, the things you want to possess, the types of clothes that you want to wear, the feeling that you want to have within your soul. See that. Yep. And I want the person that you are right now that may be unsure that you can get to that person. I want you to visualize you standing in front of him, her, or them. And just give them a hug. And tell yourself that you are so proud that you made it. That you made it happen. All right? You can let yourself go. And let your future self know that your present self will see you later. All right? I'm going to leave y'all with that. Thank you for joining me right here on Universal Teas. I love y'all. Bye.